I suck at green screening. Blocky edges, noisy background, holes in chest, everything. I am bad at it. I'm about to begin a short film with lots of green screen shots, so I need to find the quickest and most effective method to get these shots done. What are some key steps to a good key? Well, that's great. Let's find out. So something that is very key when doing a chroma key is color. Now, obviously, we want to film this on a green or blue screen. Those are the two easiest ways to key, particularly blue, but because of where I'm going to be doing for this short film, it's going to have to be green. So some key steps in color is you're going to want a good dynamic range. What is dynamic range? Well, it's how bright an object is versus how dark an object is and how the camera can see it. You see, a good dynamic range should be able to capture all the brightness in the sky and all the darkness in the shadows. Now, you see, I'm on a cheaper camera. I don't have the best of dynamic range. As you can see, the sky is mostly blown out, whereas we're starting to lose some depth in the shadows right there. Dynamic range has nothing associated with quality. Something that a lot of people don't consider is color bit depth. Most default cameras record in a 8-bit color gamut. I will be filming this short film in 32-bit, so it'll have the most color range. The most important thing about color bit depth that a lot of people tend to forget is that you may film it at a higher bit depth, but you need to set your program to be able to interpret that bit depth. Now, I love HitFilm. It's my main compositor, but for a scenario like this where there's several shots that need to be done in a very professional workflow, I have to opt for something with nodes. So what are nodes exactly, and why are they so important for this? Nodes, to put it simple, are little blocks that you connect together to do some cool VFX. This is different from a traditional layer-based workflow because it allows for a much more procedural workflow, much more iterative. The best part about this is Davinci Resolve has a completely free version for anyone to use. What I'm trying to do is add any footage that I film on a green screen into a singular script in Fusion that'll allow me to basically key the footage. This will automate the process, so I won't have to manually do it every time. It will be more of an automatic method. Now, on the terms of color, Davinci Resolve is the industry standard for color correction, so obviously it handles color. Best of the best. Now, the traditional problem with keying is that, like myself, many people have very crinkly green screens, kind of like how this is crinkly right now. You can see right here that my green screen is not 100% ideal and it has several large wrinkles on it, but luckily that will not be a problem during the actual filming. And when you do green screen, you tend to pick a singular key color. Now, something in Fusion, one of my favorite tools about Fusion, fixes this problem. Enter Clean Plate. Now, what the Clean Plate does is it allows you to select a range of colors in your screen and calculates its own background clip, meaning you can select more than one color. Using the Clean Plate that is generated, we are allowed to select a range of colors and essentially pull a difference key on your footage. The keyer of your choice, in my case the delta keyer in Fusion, will take into account those separate colors and will take them out. Now, the awesome part of this is that if the Clean Plate does not generate certain colors that you want, you can hand paint them in using a roto. Now, we still have the problem of spots being taken out of ourselves while the edge gets maintained in the proper form. What we could do is we could crush down, but then we ruin our edge. Or we could just go in soft and not fill in the entire center. We use a process called dual matting to fix this. One key that is softer and accounts for all of the edges. If you were in a layer-based workflow, you would now duplicate your footage. Since we are now in nodes, we can simply reuse it through different nodes in the script. We now go in with a harder key, which where we fill in the outside but do not account for the edges. Now, you want to erode those edges, so basically crush them in. Then you want to blend between the soft key, which accounts for the edges, and the harder key, which accounts for the inside. Doing that, we create a combination of both, where we fill in our entire center, leave it completely opaque, but we still get some of that fall off from the edge. Now, if you're really up to it, you could finish your composite completely in Fusion, but for me, I'm more comfortable in HitFilm. So what at this point I will do is I will export a black and white matte as a video, and I will import that into HitFilm, and now I will use a set matte effect to cut it down, and I effectively have just keyed out my footage very quickly in HitFilm, and just continue your compositing. If you made it this far, thanks for coming along with me as I learned more about better keying. If you liked this, please do like, comment, subscribe. It'll be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.